How do you survive the failure of your parachute? It's possible the parachute can get stuck and the person falls free. And yet there are lots of stories where people find a way to survive the crash. What if that happened to you? What would you have to do? Generally, the plane drops you around 10,000 feet. You have 40 to 60 seconds of fun before you open your parachute at 3,000 feet. At that point, you only have 22 seconds before you hit the ground. Theoretically, up to 1,500 feet is still possible. There are cases of miraculous openings just before the crash, but they are special conditions. Unfortunately for you, at 3,000 feet, your parachute does not work. No panic. Luckily for you, you stayed curious by subscribing to the channel. Okay, let's look at the equipment. In the back is the handle to open the parachute. Pull hard. Still nothing? Okay, in front of you, you have two other handles. The left one opens the emergency parachute. The right one disengages the main parachute. Yes, it is scary, but it's super important to do if there is a problem, so that the two parachutes don't interfere. I reassure you that these mechanical problems are extremely rare. 1 in 1,000 for the main parachute and 1 in 6,000 for the secondary. Both at the same time, almost never. When there's an accident, it's always a human mistake. A parachute stays folded, maintenance problems, or bad openings. If it stays stuck in the bag, the canopy is probably too large or badly folded. Most of the time, at least one of your parachutes will still open and slow you down a bit, which can save your life. The greatest danger is to lose control and start turning. You're gonna lose your points of reference, risk fainting, and above all, you're gonna fall faster than someone who's stable. In the worst case, your parachute lines get tangled. That's what happened to Kevin Phillip, who survived by hand opening his rescue parachute a few seconds before the impact. When you have a problem, the solution is almost always the emergency parachute. Never panic. Even if the first parachute doesn't take off when you pull like a fool on the rope, flying with two mixed up parachutes is still less risky than falling with nothing. So you're still pulling. What? Still nothing? Why doesn't it work? Well, you have one last chance. Nowadays, all parachutes are equipped with an automatic trigger that's able to detect your speed and your altitude. A couple feet from the ground, it'll automatically open if you thought about activating it. Of course you thought about it, didn't you? No? Okay, we're gonna find a solution. Stay calm. Even without a parachute, a sudden gesture can make you turn uncontrollably, and then your chances of survival would be zero. To ensure your stability, thrust your belly and hips towards the earth while keeping your head back and your feet up towards the sky. This is called the skydiving arch, or banana position. In the right position, you'll naturally stop drifting. You must know that at this point, you've reached your maximum speed, which is around 120 miles per hour. Whether you fall from space or a skyscraper, you'll not go faster. Now, you're gonna have to have your head in the right place to crash. Contrary to popular belief, the sea is a very bad place. At high velocity impact, water is no longer soft. It doesn't have any time to give way to your body's volume. You'll penetrate the water so fast that it's like falling on concrete. From 60 meters high, the fall is fatal. For example, we have people who've tried to beat the record for dives, which is 58.8 meters. In the top 4, 3 of them suffered heavy fractures despite the protections. And without the rescue team ready to intervene, they would never have survived. We can also see this by looking at the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, which is the most popular suicide spot in the world. On average, people jump from the bridge once every 2 weeks. A person jumping from the highest point on that bridge will drop 245 feet before plunging into the frigid San Francisco Bay waters below. The thing is that the impact from that fall kills 98% of jumpers. So how do we maximize your survival chances if you're above the sea? If you don't have a choice, dive with your feet down like an arrow so the impact will be reduced. Your feet will absorb the shock. It'll definitely break them to the pelvis, but there's a chance that your vital organs will be protected. Don't make the mistake of diving with your arms forward like you do in the pool. Your head would explode. The problem in all of these cases is that after the impact, you won't be able to swim. With your broken legs, you're just gonna sink. So where is the safest spot to land? I have a little story about that. In January 1943, Alan McGee had a mission to bomb a German manufacturing site. But that day, there were anti-aircraft guns, and his plane took a good shot. Alan was injured. So he goes up to his parachute, but he realizes that his parachute has been torn and rendered useless. The plane got hit a second time and went into a fatal spin. A portion of the right wing was destroyed. McGee was thrown away from the aircraft after he blacked out from oxygen deprivation due to the high altitude. He fell over 4 miles before crashing through the glass roof of the Saint Nazaire railroad station. And he survived, because the glass roof reduced the force of his final impact. It's your best option to find something that's going to slow you down gradually. That's how Luke Aikens made history in 2016 by jumping almost 25,000 feet without anything. He was aiming precisely at a 30-meter net hanging 70 meters from the ground. And although he reached the terminal speed, look at how smooth he landed. Unfortunately, you'll not have this net installed, but in nature, there are similar things. For example, snow. Snow is 10 times less dense than water. It's like falling into an airbag. Without a parachute at maximum speed, you'll only need 5 meters of snow and you'll survive. But be careful. This isn't an exact science. From the sky, you have no idea of the depth, consistency, or what's underneath, like a rock. The second option is the trees. It takes a big tree with a lot of leaves. The wood is stronger than snow, but the branches are mobile. They'll absorb the shock, bend, and then break, slowing you down. You can also aim for a big bush. If you have none of these options, try landing on the roof of a car or on a big heap of land on a construction site. Even power lines have saved lives. Now that you've chosen where to fall, how do you best manage the impact? What position should you choose? All the data converges. Feet down. For snow or for a tree, you'll have to tilt slightly to sit and strike obliquely, which is the best compromise. You'll increase the contact area while protecting your vital organs. Put your chin back and cover your face with your arms. There's a good chance that the shock will protect you, and you're gonna hit your head on the floor. If you're unlucky and have nothing to land on, you'll have to sacrifice your legs to save the rest. Maintain a straight body, maintain leg stability and point towards the ground. However, refrain from locking your knees or allowing them to become slightly loose. The bottom of your body will absorb the impact. Your bones will break, your flesh will compress, and the organs will be propelled in all directions. But that's not the worst. Well, you're still alive after the fall. The toughest is behind you. We couldn't count more than 20 people who've survived a full-speed impact. The damage is often very heavy. The best option is really to have a piece of parachute, even mixed, even half unfolded, just to be slowed down. After the impact, do not move. You're still under the effect of adrenaline, and it's possible that you don't even realize the gravity of the situation. You've probably been spotted, and rescuers are on their way. Of course, we're not here to scare you. Parachuting has never been safer. Accidents are very rare, and almost all come from human error. In 2011 in the United States, there were 10 deaths from 3.57 million jumps. None were due to material failure, so even the zero risk did not exist. It would be a shame to deprive you of this exciting adventure, especially now that you're ready to survive. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. And, most importantly, always stay curious and never stop learning. Until next time.